Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are located. Welcome to this side event of UN 2.0 week. Thank you everyone for joining online and those who came in person as well. I'm going to start by passing the floor to my director, Mr. Michael Ibach of OICT Policy and Compliance Service. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Jorge. I hope you can hear me. Good afternoon, and for those of you virtually who join late, good evening. Dear guests, colleagues, and especially students from Fordham University. My name is Michael Ibach, and I work here at the Office of Information and Communications Technology at the UN Secretariat, where I lead our work in emerging technologies, innovation, information management, and data and analytics. It is a really great pleasure and privilege for me to be here with you today in the context of UN 2.0 week, as we want to celebrate some of the results of the innovative collaboration that we had between our office and Fordham University's talented graduate students from the Gabelli School of Business. Partnerships like ours bear tremendous value. The insights that we gain provide new knowledge and technical advancements that can be applied across the entire spectrum of the work of the UN. These innovations nurture our learning and understanding to tackle some of the UN's challenges. And of course, partnerships also open pathways for aspiring students to engage with the UN through internships and future projects. I personally benefited a lot from such experiences very early in my life, which have shaped my entire professional career. Today, we see some of the amazing and inspiring results of our cooperation, which was headed by Professor Yilu Zhu, director at Fordham University's master program on AI in business, and her brilliant graduate students. Their creative and dedicated efforts have produced 4 AI prototypes that aim to help us imagine how UN processes can be transformed. What makes these prototypes particularly interesting is that they're using a standard platform which we already have deployed in-house, Microsoft Copilot Studio. I'm grateful for all of you for joining here in the room and online. And I hope they will be able to absorb some of the creativity, the curiosity, and the drive that have brought us all here together. And with that, thank you again, and I hand over to Jorge Martinez Navarrete, who leads the OICT Innovation Unit. Over to you, Jorge.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to try to start with the fun part. So this photo here is my opportunity to thank everybody that participated in this program. So in this photo, you see UN staff. Some of you will recognize yourselves in it. There are also Fordham faculty and students. And there are also some Microsoft colleagues, particularly Chris, who's sitting next to me right now, and Brianna, who's also sitting next to me. And we, as you can see, this was one of the sessions that we held at the Microsoft Garage here in New York, where we were collaborating. And so thank you to all the partners. I just want to reiterate that our hosts are Mr. Michael Ibach, my director, myself, Professor Mr. Yilu Zhao, director of the Masters in Artificial Intelligence in Business at Fordham University, as well as Brianna Morris and Chris Colstridge from the Microsoft Philanthropies Tech for Social Good program. And I want to begin by introducing the program briefly. So we have a collaboration between OICT and Fordham University related to technology innovation. The past cycle during the spring focused on leveraging Agentic AI using Microsoft Copilot Studio and Power Platform to build prototypes for 4 UN challenges. And you will see these 4 demos in a little bit by 4 teams of students. Microsoft provided training and advice directly to Fordham at Fordham University and at the Garage. So we appreciate them for that. Thank you very much. And finally, you will see that every slide in this presentation has a QR code on the top right. This QR code points you to a website where you can find all the materials created by the group of students that you're going to see, as well as an opportunity for you, UN personnel, to apply for the next year program. So there you can express your interest in working with Fordham University and OICT Innovation Unit to develop prototypes for data analytics and artificial intelligence, hopefully with partners such as Microsoft as well. And with that, I'm going to show the order, the sequence. We're going to kick it off with the first project, which is about national voluntary reviews analysis. This was a project that was introduced to me by one of my colleagues, Fred Soltau, who's in the room, and who's going to get the first question for this after the team presents. So over to the team. Please introduce yourself and go for it.
Hi, just give me a second while I start sharing my screen. Hi, everyone. We're the team that developed the Agentic AI tool to analyze VNRs. My name is Daksh.
My name is Marijn.
Hi, and my name is Jui, and I will be starting first by defining what VNR are. So VNR are reports in which member nation would detail their progress in implementing the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. The problem with analyzing these reports are that the manual analysis of these documents are very time-consuming, and it is very difficult to scale. The important details comprise of target metrics and a lot of intangibles. Insights from 1 year are built on top of insight from previous years and previous reports. The challenges that we encounter when we develop this agent was that the unstructured data in the form of images and tables. Furthermore, PDFs presents format challenges. The evaluation of our AI agents is also a problem. What are we measuring and how are we measuring it? And last of all, a problem that was posed by Fred himself, trust and accountability. How are we ensuring that these outputs are, first of all, reliable and second of all, usable? So the current process that we have developed, the VNR, are based on analyzing a sustainable development goal based on or team based on 5 categories that you guys can see here. These insights are then tagged with a citation such as a page number to verify accuracy. And most of these reports comprises of excerpts, not interpretation or summaries to maintain reliability. These reports are then safe to allow for future uses such as reporting, communication with stakeholders and nation states. I want to move on to Dash demos.
Hi, everyone. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to show you a couple of videos of our agent working, but I promise you it exists, and Ryan will show you a live demo of the product when it's his turn to present. So let's get over there. So as you see on the screen, this is not necessarily how it look for the user experience, but just to give you an example of how the agent works, it's like a chatbot, like your ChatGPT or something like that. You ask to upload a VNR, it gives you a prompt. The process is a bit sped up for the sake of this presentation. You can choose what the basis is on which you're analyzing this VNR. So I chose a specific SDG. And now if you see, I chose SDG 1, and it's given me a bunch of insights in the chat box itself. This is what that output looks like. These are just examples just to show you that it does capture certain things like targets and metrics. And later on, we'll show you how it captures some of the intangibles as well. So like you mentioned, we're really interested in making sure that the outputs of this report or this chatbot are reportable, usable, shareable. So we've developed the infrastructure for these outputs to be generated into a Word report. Formatting needs work, but everything's there. It's pretty usable. It saves to a SharePoint that you can easily download from and share with colleagues and stakeholders. How we're doing this, I don't want to get too technical, just to not bore anyone, but we're basically prompting for different categories. So as mentioned earlier, we have 5 different categories, which produce unique insights for the most part. Some of them are overlapping. And then we synthesize a final report or summary comprising of all of these insights while making sure we're not including any redundancy, any overlap, and basically making sure that there's still clarity and logical structure. So sort of just to summarize, we're doing this to exhaustively extract insights from the VNR, and it also gives us the benefit of being able to like zone in on certain parts of this VNR that are more important to analysts. So it's changeable. It's not fixed, and we can always change these categories. Combining these allows us to, again, minimize redundancy and create deliverables, and we can still do this and preserve citations and avoid overgeneralization. This is what that final report looks like. I know the video is really quick and probably not readable, but I'll just stop here for 10 seconds for you guys to read 1 or 2. Awesome. And now I will pass it on to Marijn.
Thank you, Doug. So some of you might be wondering, well, we just saw him upload the VNR. What if I don't have the document on my computer or near me? You can also ask the agent to search in its database to look for the VNR. And so it will specify what country you want to see, what year you want to look at. It will tell you which file it identified and which file it is currently analyzing to ensure that you still know what the agent is doing. And then we selected in this demonstration to analyze a theme because we mentioned earlier that our agent is also able to do that. For demonstration purposes, we only have gender-based insights available to analyze. But as you can see, it creates a similar report to when you would select SRG number 1 or SRG number 2. What I want to note is that the way we define this topic, so in this case gender-based insights, is through topic modeling. So on the right of the screen you see a dictionary that we created, and I hope it's readable for everyone, but if not, it contains words that we defined to have something to do with gender-based insights. The dictionary can be improved, admittedly, but that is the process behind everything. Now, when we would look for the comparing of different VNRs of different years, for example, I will take over sharing the screen and do a live demo. Everyone should be able to see this now. Yes. So let me move this bar out of the way. As you can see here, we have our SharePoint, a database where we have an analysis of Liberia of 2019 and 2020. So we will ask our agent to compare a VNR. It will take some processing time, so apologies for that. And then it would ask us, do we want to an individual country with multiple years, multiple countries, or multiple countries? We will select individual countries because we're going to look at Liberia. It will check its database to look which countries are available in the database. And as we see, it has Liberia and the Philippines. So once I enter Liberia, it will check for the years that you can choose from. So we will say we want to compare 2020 and 2019. It will again show, it should show 2022, 2019. Yes, there we go. Well, now we also see if you make a typo, it will tell you that it's wrong and it will return back to the previous question. But again, it shows what documents it's going to compare to ensure that every user still knows what the agent is doing. and it will return a comparison where it says, well, poverty rate increased. Well, it didn't increase, but it stayed the same between 2019 and 2022. It saw that here we have it improved. It ranked 110 out of well. So this is the result we get. Again, this can be stored in a Word document and shared amongst everyone in the UN. And that's the comparing of our VNRs. So with that, I will give it back to Doc.
Awesome. Sorry. As you can tell, it's not a smooth process. It's still in development. There's still a lot of learning to do, but that's why we have evaluation methodologies. And so it was really important for us to not only develop a tool that can do the things that we're saying it's doing, but to also develop evaluation techniques that can prove to others that it's doing what we're saying it's doing, or it's not doing what it's saying it's doing, but it's on the right path. And so we zoned in on two areas, which was relevance and accuracy. With regards to relevance, what we mean is that when we're asking it to give us insights regarding SDG 1 or gender-based insights, are the outputs actually relevant to gender-based insights, or are they just random excerpts from the UN report? The second thing is accuracy. Do these excerpts actually exist in the report? And those are the two main angles we tackled this problem from. So first and foremost, because the process in which we're doing things means that most of the report is converted to text, we've had to resort to using citations that can be manually validated by cross-referencing those with the original VNR document. With regards to relevance, we've basically, without getting too technical, converted our insights into a numerical representation that allows us to compare what we have with a corpus that is representative of SDG 1 or SDG 2. As you can see, our relevance is 0.5. It's not too high, but that means there are some really high ones and some really low ones. There's some work to be done, but we're also doing some things right. There are potential ways we want to improve this. So these are two alternative methods. Classification is one that seems the most promising, but it entails having a domain expert going into insights, manually labeling them as relevant, somewhat relevant, or not irrelevant, and then training like a machine learning model to then be able to identify these. Obviously, with more time and resources, this would be the most promising path. And our future steps include capabilities to read images, charts, and tables. And considering that our accuracy is high, but our relevance is low, we need to first look at how we're analyzing the document. Is it a problem that we're looking at those 5 categories and not the actual targets and indicators that are mentioned for each SDG? And is there a problem with our evaluation method? Are we just considering semantic representations of the things we're doing? Or can we also develop it to consider context? So that's our presentation. We're happy to take any questions.
Let me jump in there. So my name is Fred, and as Jorge mentioned at the outset, I remember meeting with this group and speaking with you and explaining something from within the UN, which is quite maybe a bit arcane, and you had many questions. So it's super, first of all, to see that you've got to grips with what we're dealing with here, that you've given a product which meets the needs of, if this were a client, you've understood the need, which is really good, because you've come to this fresh, not knowing what these VNRs are, and the 5 or so topics that you've chosen. I think that's super interesting and super relevant, and also the output, because for us this would always be a case of is initially thinking, how do we supplement the human intelligence, our knowledge of the topic, to get a shortcut to extract the material. And what you've done here is showing that you can give tagged excerpts from the material that we could then look at and say, okay, is this relevant for the question I have, or the answer I need to give somebody? What are these 5 reports saying about gender? And then of course, what you've mentioned at the end, to see also that you're working on the relevance question. And I think there are technical ways that you've outlined to improve that. One of them would be human. There's also a corpus that have been developed of people who've done kind of what you're talking about, synonyms for the topics or contextual ways of querying that. So I think fantastic. My question would be, for the outputs that you tag, these are in a Word document. Is there another way of sort of organizing them in an Excel spreadsheet? So we could, let's say, we over time query, let's say, 40 documents. Or this year, for instance, we'll have 37 VNRs. When we begin this work of analyzing them manually in August or September, could we use the tool to say, okay, let's look at 37 of them and answer, let's say, 10 questions and have all those excerpts in an Excel sheet. I mean, Word is good. We tend to use that. But let's say we want to do a bit of a numerical analysis of what we're showing. Let's say gender seems to be highly relevant in the report of India, but the report of South Africa, it's kind of downplayed. Those kind of comparisons. So we could almost do a meta-analysis of the information you've extracted. Is that something which could be done?
Yes, I think so. I think it would be the same way that we're structuring things in Word. We haven't structured it that way, but with the correct guidelines and obviously consultation with like domain experts like yourself, it would be possible. It would require adjustments to the prompting and the structure of like the agent to make sure that we're outputting to the right place and in the right file formats, for example. But yeah, it's 100% possible.
But just to say again, congratulations. And I must say, when I spoke with you, I thought, I kind of had something in mind. I'm not a technical expert at all. And I think you've come back. I was really curious to see what you would come back with. And I just want to congratulate you for preparing something which is useful, looks to be to us be very useful, and B, shows that you've really got to grips with the material. So congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the team for your presentation, and thank you, Fred, for having provided some guidance and data for this project. The next project is about analyzing emergency situation reports, and this team was provided with a collection of, or they were pointed out to the Relief website, and we just gave them the open task to write daily reports, monthly reports, based on the crisis reports that are presented in that, published every day on that website. And so over to that team. It's going to be represented by Nick and Leonard.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Nicholas, and with me I have.
I'm Leonard.
Yeah. So just before I do go ahead, I just want to mention that this the project was we had two teams. So just because of that, we have two solutions. But just for the sake of presentation today, we're just going to be discussing one solution, which is crisis brief. Over to Leonard.
Wonderful. So I'm speaking in part on behalf of my teammates, Jasmine, Anthony, Kavya, and Yiran. But let's take it over to the problem domain. Right now, our problem is that there is just so much information coming in from all over the world. I mean, it's the subject matter experts are well aware. There are multiple overlapping crises, and the information pertaining to them just is constantly streaming in. So for the cognitive load placed on the analysts in the current paradigm slows down decision making because it's just not really feasible to ingest all this information at a given time. So this is the spine, so to speak, of our solution diagrams. We start out with, as Jorge alluded to a moment ago, the Relief websites. That's our kind of source of truth. And we then move into the Microsoft environment, popping into Power Automate and SharePoint, moving later into Copilot Studio. And at the end of the day, we want to engage the end user, and we'll face them through that Microsoft environment. So that data collection is at the time taking place through Python script. We are looking to bring that even further into house with the Microsoft, but we'll discuss more on improvements in just a moment. But a key point here is that rather than relying on the website alone, we are bringing the documents into SharePoint as a repository, serving as our centralized knowledge base. We're hoping at the end to deliver these accurate real-time summaries to our end users, and with further stakeholder engagement, we can fine-tune them for the precise UN tone, language, phraseology. But even with these finer point considerations, we want fast action. So we're hoping to also bring in things like customizable alerts, automatic triggers to make sure that analysts and policymakers are right on top of the situations as they're happening. So we imagine that our end users might come from a number of different backgrounds, humanitarian agencies, for one, on the ground. Crisis response teams may be deploying from other countries into the crisis zones, so they'll want to be informed ahead of time. Government organizations, and on top of these non-government organizations, are of course among our stakeholders as well. And in behind the relative comfort of our desks, we have the researchers and analysts. But all in all, we want to accelerate for all of these parties the emergency response speed.
So over to the demo right now. So just before I do go, one of the very interesting things about this crisis brief is that from the beginning to the end is fully automated. So from the scraping of the documents right from the relief web to uploading them to the SharePoint and down to the agent and getting out your outputs via email, every single thing is automated. You don't have to manually download your documents or manually have to write a Python script to download your document. That's done. So the way we just set this up was that 11:50 p.m. every day, because what we found out was that on Relief Web, documents are uploaded every minute, every hour on there. So what we then did was that we set up a Python script that's automated to run every day at 11:50 p.m. to download files posted on that day. So that way you have up-to-date files on your SharePoint. You're not worried about having old information. You're up to date with the current information that's been uploaded. So I'll just go over to the demo right now. So this is the way our crisis brief looks at. There are some beginner prompts on here. So we just clicked on one, which is summarize the key points from latest Uganda emergency crisis. And it takes a few moments to run, and then this is the output we do have. So it does give them into a structured format whereby you have the current situation, you have the new arrivals, you have the food insecurity. It basically gives you into a structured format, and then you can also see on there that you can see the references to the documents in which this information was gotten from. So for each and every single one of the information on there, you can see the documents which information is gotten from. And if you do go ahead to click on one of the documents on there, you can actually get access to the actual document where it was gotten from. So that way, if you want to verify your information, you can as well verify with the actual document. Oh, and then you can also type in your own prompt, and on here, we just upload a document just in case you have a document you have in hand and you want to have a summary of that document also. You can also upload the document onto the agent, and then it's going to give you a structured response like it has done previously. Sorry. Yeah. So it's just going to take a few moments to run. Oh, what's this? Yeah, so this is like the previous one, this is the structured format it did give for that document which was uploaded. And also you can also click on document to see to kind of reference where the information was gotten from in those documents. And then you can also ask your own prompt like we said earlier. So on here we're asking about situation update in Nigeria. Just takes a few moments to run.
So yes, it is taking a few moments to run, but I want you to take a moment to think about how much faster, how much more accelerated this is relative to parsing mentally all of the perhaps 20 plus pages of a given document at a time.
So, and on here you do have the information from different sources, not just one document. So you just have to go through a couple of documents to give you an up-to-date information about the situation up there. And also you can request to email that information to you. So we did ask that, and he asked, what's your email? We put in email on there, and then it's just going to give you a response saying that email has been sent to the recipient on there. and it asks you, would you like anything else? Say no. Did that answer your question? Yes. And also you can also give a rating just in case you're not pleased with the information you do get. So that way we can also make necessary adjustments to the agent where needed. And and on here you can see the that's the email that was sent by the agent. So yeah, that's the email that was sent by the agent. As you can see, it's a structured format in the email also. So that way you don't really have to go through an extra process trying to structure the output from the agent. And so on development progress, we one of the main things we did was to build and test the core chatbot functionality to make sure that everything on there is trustworthy and is accurate as much as possible. And then we validated the summarization quality against actual. So we did validate our summarization via different ways. We had one of our team members do his own personal summary of one of the documents, and then we validated that with the response from the agent, which was pretty accurate. And then we also kind of cross-checked that with what the GPT is going to give us. And what we did find out that was the agent gave a little bit more detail, and including the references to the document in which it was gotten from. And just in terms of our evaluation, like I said, we did summarize, we did make sure that our summarization were accurate, and also the significant time-saving aspect of this, which is one of the main functions of the main idea behind this, was to save time via the manual process. And this is a comparison of the output from the agent and the output from the GPT. As you can see, for the one for the GPT just gives just bullet points here and there, while the one from the agent just gives a little bit more detail into the work.
Right. So in the office where we're posted right now, there's a graphic on the wall about how to work better, and number 8 was say it simple. And I hope that we demonstrated an ability to condense these potentially lengthy documents into things that feel much more accessible and actionable. As we look forward to the future, we want to even broaden our knowledge base. For instance, we could bring in more situation briefs as the situation goes, or we'll see some synergy potentially with another group. We'll also want to build on the UI. Earlier, we had Mr. Soltal asking us about how really to interact with our non-technical users. This is another area that we see for improvement. And yeah, I think this is I hope that everyone here feels that this is a promising avenue forward for our what could be otherwise a very fractious situation. So we're looking again to de-emphasize the manual workload, decrease the cognitive burden, and automate, electronicize this process so that we can enhance the coordination once more, make it more actionable, and bring greater peace and harmony to the world, we hope, through the use of our agent.
Yeah, and just before I wrap up, like I said earlier on, all of the process are automated. And one of the things about it is that when from the beginning, when every single step along the way, you do get notifications. From when the documents have been scraped, you get notifications saying new documents are available. When they do get uploaded to SharePoint, you get information saying, oh, a new document has been uploaded onto the SharePoint. So that way you're up to date. You know when you have new documents to work on. So that way it's pretty much effective. It's an effective process all around.
So yeah, there's an accountability from top to bottom. And as we're doing rule number 1, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
All right, I think that wraps up our presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we're free to take your questions now if you'd like.
Thank you so much, guys. That was a great work. Appreciate that. And we are going to take only one question from the room at this point, and then we'll, after all the next 2 projects are presented, we'll take questions from the chat. And the first question is in the room from.
Hi, my name is Barbara Nieuwenhuis. I work on digital transformation for peacekeeping.
Wonderful.
So thank you very much for doing this work and being part of this effort. My question is to you in terms of the accuracy and the assurance of accuracy. Have you done any kind of testing, and what kind of testing have you done to confirm that?
Yes, so we did do multiple testing on this. One of the I mentioned earlier that we had one of our team members actually summarize this himself, one of the documents himself, and we did compare that with what the agent was giving, and also just in terms of the figures that the agent is giving, we did multiple testing we did about 25 to 30 testings on various documents just to ensure that those figures and those key figures are as they say it is in the document. And also we did compare with the GPT, like I said. So we did a various form of testing just to ensure that the output from the agent is accurate.
We are sensitive to the change management dimensions of this. It is a different sort of process. Another further accountability mechanism upon acting upon the system is momentarily we did show a rating system as part of that team's integration, channel integration. So there is an opportunity absolutely for human subject matter experts to push the system in a positive direction.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you to the team and to the audience for your questions. We're going to go back to your questions in a little while. Now we're going to move on to the next team. And I just want to highlight that, as you can see, the topics that the teams worked on are quite different. So the first one was related to the Sustainable Development Goals. The second was related to crisis management, situation reporting. This one coming up is about something we do all the time at the UN, which is public information. So the project is about analyzing public statements and generating briefings, generating content based on with knowledge grounded on existing UN press releases. So the team was given a large amount, I believe 6,000 press releases that are public information available online. So over to you.
Hi, everyone. We're happy to be here to present for you our project. And before we start, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Hisham.
Hello, I'm Awa. And I'm Rumi.
So walking you with our agenda for today. So we have our project overview, then we have our strategy and how it works, our demo, then also we're going to show you accuracy testing, and in the end we're having recommendation and next steps. And our project is looking at the daily press noon briefings from the UN, where they actually do summarize of the official meetings and events happening in the UN headquarters and oversee conference. We will have like 647 press briefings from 2022 until 2024. We were asked to develop an AI agent Copilot Studio, where we actually make it accessible, customizable for the users. And instead of requiring them to go through hundreds of pages and find like what they need, it's more easable to access and quickly pull relevant information. Moving to our strategy and how we built our demo, we got like our raw data, our raw UN briefing transcript, which was like JSON files. We started converting them into PDF using Python. Then we uploaded all the data into SharePoint, where we can access it easily. And then we started building our agent and put instruction and topics. So we make sure the agent is following the specific instruction, only pulling information from these press briefings, not from the internet. And then we make sure by making accuracy testing and also user queries. Moving to our agent, how it works. It focuses on three parts, where it generates talking point, extracts key insight and stats, also summarize policy and bullet points, adapt also to the tonality for the audience. And as also asked from the UN, our agent is creating also speeches and statement, where it created actually also first draft from report aligned with the UN language. and also prepare briefing note where we summarize key updates and events from these public statement, highlight issues and next steps, also format UN briefing templates. And moving to Ruby, she's gonna show us our demo.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruby and I'll be walking you through our AI chatbot demo today. We've installed the chatbot directly into Microsoft Teams to make it easily accessible for everyone. As soon as you greet the chatbot, it'll prompt you with a simple question. Would you like to hear today's briefing or yesterday's? Let's go ahead and click today. As you can see, it provides a clear, well-structured summary along with links to official UN sources. It's important to note that our chatbot is designed to only pull information from verified UN materials, ensuring that everything you read is accurate, relevant, and trusted. Now, if you choose No instead, it will seamlessly guide you to the next set of options. The first feature I want to highlight is the Topics prompt. This allows users to explore a wide range of topics, from climate change to human rights, and even offers an other option where users can type in a custom topic. Let's start by asking about climate change. Again, you'll see a digestible and informative summary pulled from official UN content. Now, we'll try the other option and type in natural disaster response. The chatbot returns organized summaries by country, giving you a clear, structured overview of the topic in context. Next up is the dated briefings feature. You can ask the bot to summarize a specific day's briefing. For example, let's ask for the briefing from October 23rd, 2023. The response is limited only to that day's content and sources, great for when you need precise information tied to a specific event or meeting. A key use case we focused on is generating talking points. Let's ask for 3 concise talking points on migration trends in Sahel. This feature is perfect for last-minute meetings or when you need a quick, high-level overview to get up to speed. You can also ask the bot for key phrases. For instance, we'll ask, what key phrases has the Secretary General used around climate justice? The chatbot returns direct quotes, again, sourced only from UN materials. Another helpful feature is tone and language guidance. Say you're preparing remarks on a sensitive topic like ceasefire appeals in Ukraine. It'll respond with a concise tone recommendation and sample language, all backed by trusted sources. Now, let's move on to speech generation. Whether you need to deliver speech on the go or are short on time, the chatbot can generate a full speech from start to finish, including an opening, body, and conclusion. Here, we'll ask it to write an opening statement for a press conference on humanitarian funding gaps. You can also ask it to tailor the speech to a specific length, like a 2-minute speech on UN's stance on displacement in Myanmar, and it will adjust accordingly while staying focused and impactful. Finally, our chatbot can summarize daily press briefings. It's flexible, customizable, and built to adapt to the needs of different users, whether you're preparing for a panel discussion, writing remarks, or just trying to stay informed. Thank you so much for watching our demo. We hope this gave you a clear idea of how powerful and helpful this chatbot can be in navigating UN materials quickly and efficiently. Okay, thank you for watching. Something that you might be wondering about is, what you might be wondering about is the accuracy of our chatbot. You might be thinking, how can I trust this bot to tell me the information that I need and has the exact sources that I know where it's coming from? So we did multiple testings. The first thing that we did was prompt response testing, which was a manual evaluation. We did an evaluation process of selecting 5 or more sample prompts that an actual user may use. We compared the chatbot's answer according to the UN briefing, and we reviewed for correctness, tone, and use of source material. And our key metrics were accuracy, relevance, tone match, and source clarity. We also worked on intent validation testing, which is more about tags and topics. So we inputted a prompt, we wrote down an expected prompt, and we also saw what the actual topic of what our AI chatbot delivered. And we also decided whether if it was accurate or not. Here is a comparison between our model and ChatGPT. As you can see, our model links to the sources. It has more of the lingo that maybe a UN person or employee might want to hear or see. But ChatGPT has more sources on the outside, and it's more of an external source rather than internal. Now, Awa will discuss our recommendations and next steps.
Okay, so now looking ahead, we think our chatbot really has huge potential to grow beyond what we have already built. So one major goal of us is auto-sync. So in the future, our system will be able to automatically update its knowledge base as new UN press briefings are released. This removes the need for manual uploads and ensures users always get the latest information. We also want to bring in multilingual support. So this means being able to translate responses into French first and potentially other official UN languages while keeping the tone and context accurate. And finally, we see a future where users can interact with the chatbot using voice input, like asking questions on the go, especially during missions or meetings, and getting real-time summaries or draft notes in return. So these updates would make our chatbot even more practical, accessible, and powerful for day-to-day work across the UN. And now, as you can see, we are in the final phase, so preparing the base model for future updates. And as you can see, continuous growth is our last milestone. We worked really hard on this chatbot throughout the semester, and we would love to have the opportunity to go further. Now we are going to thank you for listening to us today, and please feel free to ask us any question.
Thank you so much to the team, and I love your video. Thank you for that. We're going to have one question coming from Brianna from Microsoft Philanthropies. Over to you, Brianna.
Just wanted to, acknowledge the amount of effort that it takes to kind of get through the learning curve of using AI and chatbots. So commendable for all of you with all these projects that you've actually executed. As far as challenges that you faced, I want to understand what were the biggest hangups for you while you were strategizing, implementing, and then executing some of this work?
Yeah, maybe more like the accuracy. And in the beginning, we had JSON files instead of PDF, but we
had the question.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think one of the first challenges that we had was that our data was in the form of JSON files. So that was hard to kind of, for Copilot to kind of understand the content. So we had to convert all of those to PDF, but that required us to create a Python code.
And also the accuracy, it was like we wanted to make sure like it's only pulling the information from the PDF files, not like the information they have from internet. And also trying to build like email system where we can also transfer like the knowledge we have into the users. So like if you like climate change and you want to send the information you already had to someone else in the UN, it can be easily done. So I think these are like our
those were our main two challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Verena, for the question. And to everybody who is asking questions online, I understand that you have amazing questions and we're going to get to them, but we want to wrap up the last presentation. The next one is a use case that interests a lot of people in the UN Secretariat or in the UN in general. Is about user support. So this is about how different entities respond to questions from personnel, be it service desk for human resources, for IT, or any service provision. So over to the team, please.
Hi. Thank you for being here, everyone. Our project is about smarter policy access and building a UN AI chatbot to help in an HR sense. For our project, we looked at a number of different issues that people can face, and we really focused on readability and sorry, I think it's still coming up there. But we looked at human resources. There's a lot of areas, but a lot of times there's some pain points that can come up in communication and people receiving up-to-date information regarding HR policies and questions people may have on that. Sometimes this can result from just having a lot of documents or things being updated over time. And this can expand to reaching out to several people, these things taking a lot longer than they should. And so we are looking at a way to streamline this process of the information from the organization level to the individual so that people can have up-to-date and ready info at all the time. So for our project, we created UNA, which is Your United Nations Assistant. And this is a chatbot that is going to be able to pull that information and answer questions that people have right in that moment.
Thank you so much. Can we maybe try the presentation? It's very blurry. I think for now it was okay, but for the demonstration. Yes. I'm sorry.
Apologies about that.
Able to see? Are you able to see?
No, it's still blurry.
So bad because I'm using UN.
No.
Hopefully everyone can see that a little bit better now. I'm not going to re-say everything I just went over, but yeah, as you can see here, we are looking to identify a bunch of pain points and sort of mitigate those by creating a more streamlined way for people to gain access to information. Yeah, and then here we have UNA, which is your United Nations Assistant. And this would just provide 24/7 access in a really simple and easy way. It'll be self-servicing, and then we ended up creating some more functionality, which my colleagues will discuss, and Lena will continue with that right now.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Lena, and UNA, how Elijah said, is first for HR, so for the entire UN. And one big part is we were able to provide instant answer whenever it comes to all HR question, from traveling to leaves, whatever HR is responsible for. Also, it is able to create certifications for you. For example, when you need a certification that you are employed in the UN, or whenever you need an income certification, all of this is instant available. The second most important part for UNA is that operational support means in the background. So whenever there's an issue, UNA is able to send an email to HR with this issue. I will show you later what does it means. Also for verify the answers, for clarify, and also for track for HR itself. All answers right now are logged into an Excel sheet And we were able to support processes, for example, for whenever there somebody needs to travel. I will show you this in the next step as well. So important is here to know before I start, we were able to integrate the entire UNA, so the entire Copilot into Microsoft, means nobody needs to change in the UN. The platform, Teams is available for everyone around the world. So this is our platform. Let's go. First, we just say, hi, Una, you don't have to be polite. But in this case, the next thing is Una shows already an impression what, for example, can be asked. Then in this case, I said, I want to know something about a promotion. Here, there's the answer about the requirement for a promotion. And between the little numbers 1 to 3 here is also the source. The next thing I want to know is now, okay, I want to travel. So what is the travel policies? How many days can I travel? In this case, I didn't answer. I didn't ask. I just clicked the button. And here we go with the answer. It's quick. And now it has can also download the travel policies for later use. But right now, I want to book my travels with the UN because yeah, I do a travel for the UN about half a year, and I need to apply for this or just let HR know where it goes so it can book. First, it asks for my name. Second, how many people are traveling? It's just me. Is it a round trip? In this case, it is, and it's an official business trip. The next thing it will ask for how long, means the exact date. I will travel in October when it's getting cold in New York, and we'll come back in April when it's getting better. And I'm doing a training for these months, and because it's cold in New York, I'm going to Sydney. I don't have any requirements or things I want to tell HR right now. Then the next thing Una is doing is showing all my information. I said, yes, this is correct. And then I receive an email, or HR receive an email and application with all these steps. Now I don't want to type long. I just need a certification because I'm going to Sydney and I need an income certification to rent an apartment in Sydney. I put there also my information there, my bank here in New York is Chase. I'll need to rent a home, send to my email, and the next thing, it goes into my email folder. So you can see there's an error still, but I got the email. So we let HR know there's an issue in the system. Even Una can support here and can say, okay, there's an error. I will text HR, and HR is receiving this error issue immediately per email as well. And next thing I need to know is leave. I mean, I can ask Una more, but I just do little types, so it's quick for me. I don't need to talk long to Una. I don't need to search long. Here, Una gave me different choices, give me also the leave options, and that's it, what I want to know about Una today. The next thing I will give to Amar, and we try again to share the screen and give you a live demonstration to show it's not just a video.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you for the opportunity. Hi guys, this is Amareshwar. I want to take you to the live demo. Okay. To get started with Una. Okay. You can see this beautiful menu, and you can see the dynamic buttons which will navigate the user to take to the respective topics.
You can't. I'm sorry.
I can't hear you.
No, you can't.
Still?
Mm.
Oh my God, it's a network issue. Can you please turn off your videos? Yeah, okay, everyone is blessed. But in my system, it's working fine. I don't know. Okay. Kindly adjust with this. Can I go to go?
No.
No. One second, let me stop my sharing screen and one second.
Not ask, just, for example, okay. So I just repeat. So Chris from Microsoft was asking in the room if we are able to not just transfer one, for example, I showed just leave. So we can ask a full paragraph. Yes, you can. So definitely. And it picks the information or looking for words that it comes into the HR policies.
We were just showing it in a more individual, like question at a time way, but you can absolutely be more conversational, because I know some people like that with these assistants, is to have in a very casual way where you're sort of in a more free-flowing conversation.
Do you think about a future where you can actually talk to the system, like with voice?
With voice, that would be really cool. We hadn't approached that at all thus far, but I mean, that is a next step that could be taken.
Oh, yeah, especially when it comes to UN, is the question, how useful is it really? How many people would use it? Because who's talking, you know, there's not.
Can I ask the questions in different languages, or am I stuck with priority with it?
Yes, we did try to English. Yes.
Yeah, please repeat the questions, because people's
Okay.
Oh yeah, the question was about if you can use different languages to address the bot in its current state. And we'd prioritized working on it with English so far, but with expanding use to other languages.
I think we thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can I take the mic?
One second.
No.
Well, thank you to the team so much for your presentation. Congratulations on your work. I'm going to give the floor, the question, to James Curran from HRSD. And I want to thank James also because he participated throughout the program, coaching the students, giving them requirements and encouragement. So thank you so much, James. And over to you.
So thank you. I want to thank the students, all of them, for doing such an amazing job. But like, to be honest, this technology is relatively new, and you've done an incredible job in learning it, understanding it from a deeper level. I could see throughout the weeks going to Fordham, seeing you progress, and I was incredibly impressed with how you progressed, took the guidance and constantly innovated. And when we gave you, suggested things, you went in and you figured it out how to do that, whether it was using the script or whether it was tweaking the chatbot. I was really, really impressed. This particular HR bot or agent is really something that we at HRSD and in HR, of course, obviously are very interested in. And so I guess the question I would have, first of all, I would say, I know we didn't get to see the full demo, but I will say that from seeing it myself in person, it's very impressive. You can ask it basically any HR question, and it will come up with the response, whether it's a policy question or whether like it was something to do with travel. We could see this being very useful for staff to be able to have a 24-hour tool to be able to go and ask any question around HR and get that response. So like has been asked in many of the other cases, how are we ensuring accuracy, and what was your experience around the accuracy in the questions that you were putting through your agent.
Yeah, thank you, James. Actually, we tested our solutions. Actually, we used to done this through the NLP techniques, and manually we verified our answers with the UN portal websites, because this information is available in the publicly into the UN portal. Actually, also we did a couple of round of testing, and we used some natural language processing techniques to to finalize the accuracy and whether it is giving actual information or not and all. So we did some couple of exercises. That's where we believe that it's giving actual information, but it has a lot of potential. Not only answering to the questions, it has a potential to escalate the issue to the HR focal point. It has a potential to create a ticket. If you are facing an issue with your laptop, you want to create a I need ticket, no need to log into the I need, just create a ticket from your chatbot. You can give some information through the API. It will create a ticket. Not only to the I need, you can use this chatbot. We can enhance this system to the either Inspira issues or Omoja issues. We can use this chatbot. Sorry for technical inspiration. Otherwise, I thought of sharing this API technique where we can create the tickets through the chatbot.
Thank you so much to the team. Nice job. Apologies for the bandwidth issues. I wish people could have seen your demo, which is great. And with this, we come to the end of the first part of this meeting, which was the formal presentations, and we had one question per project. Those of you who are online and need to go and do some other work or continue with your life and activities, thank you for having attended. I'm just going to share one final slide, which is an invitation to all of you to be part of this program next term. And for all of you who want to find out more information about each project, download the presentations, videos. I'm going to ask the team to also share their exported Copilot Studio code so others can learn from it. You can reach out by going to this website that is this QR code, which is on screen right now. And thank you all for attending. All of you who have time to stay for more unstructured questions and answers, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone. So